Hello students. In last lecture we have seen the database management system, that is definition of database management system, database. What is DBMS, which examples of database management system, then applications of DBMS, then data types in DBMS. We have seen the data types in DBMS, different types of data models in DBMS. Now we will see the basic database concept. Okay, basic database concept. What is table, what is field, record, and key? Okay, so we will see what is table. The table is the basic data storage unit in relational database. Table consists of columns and rows. A database consists of one or more tables according to which data is stored in a table. Database designer decides the name of the table and titles of the column. For creating college database, we use the to create the table like 11 table or table name as 11, 12. Okay, table consists of different columns and rows. The table consists of information which is stored under different headings called as fields or columns. In table, the columns are called as fields. Okay, columns are shown vertically in a table. Each field or column has an individual name. Two columns cannot have the same name. What is record? Record. All the columns in a table make a row. Each row contains information on individual topics. A record is composed of fields and contains all the data about one particular person or a company or items in a database. Record is also called as tuple. Then what is key? There are two types of keys. One is basic keys. First one is primary key and second one is foreign key. A column or a combination of columns which can be used to identify one or more rows, tuples in a table is called as a key of the table. These are different basic database concepts. Next, we will see the two types of keys, that is for a primary key and foreign key. What is primary key? It is the group of one or more columns used to uniquely identify each row of relation is called its primary key. And what is foreign key? It is a field or collection of fields in one table that refers to primary key in another table. It refers to primary key in another table. We will see examples in next. Then relationships in database. Relationship link data from individual tables to increase the usefulness of the database. A relationship in the context of databases is a situation that exists between two relational database tables when one table has a foreign key that is used as reference to the primary key of the other table. For example, a table called employees has a primary key called employee ID. Okay, one table called as employee table has a primary key as a employee ID. Employee table contains the employee ID as a primary key. Another table called as employee details has a foreign key which references employee ID in order to uniquely identify the relationship between the two tables. There are two tables. One is employee and second table is employee details. One contains primary key as employee ID. Okay. And employee details has a foreign key which refers to the employee ID of the first table. There are three types of relationships in relational database design, that is one-to-one relation, one-to-many relation, and many-to-many relation. There are three types, that is one-to-one, one-to-many, and many-to-many. First, we will see the one-to-one relation. In one-to-one relationship, one record in a table is associated with one and only one record in another table. Example, in a company database, each employee has only one person ID and each passport ID is assigned to only one person. Next is one-to-many or many-to-one relationship. This is the most common relationship type. In this type of relationship, a row in table city can have many matching rows in table customer. In city, you can take the columns as city ID, city name, and this city will identify two matching rows in table customer. But a row in table customer can have only one matching row in a table city. Okay. Then a many to many relationship occurs when multiple records in a table are associated with multiple records in another table. That is multiple records from one table associated with multiple records in another table. Multiple records in table product are linked to multiple records in table supplier. There are two table, one is product and second table is supplier. These multiple records of table products and linked to multiple records of table supplier, that is many to many relationship. What is SQL? Standard Structured Query Language, which is computer language for storing, manipulating and retrieving data stored in a relational database. SQL is a standard language for relational database management system. All relational database management systems like MySQL, Base, Oracle, Sybase, Informix, Postgres we are using on Ubuntu Linux operating system, and SQL Server use SQL as a standard database language. Okay. These are some commands we use during to create the database in Postgres SQL, that is on Linux or Ubuntu operating system. There are some commands when we have to create a database. We use the command as create database and database name. Here you can see the database name we used as college. Okay, 1 minute. Yes. Yes, this is the command for to create the database. First, we have to type as create, then space, database, and then database name. We have used the database name as college. Okay. Then to view the database, we have to use the /l as to view the databases. Command is used. Then to connect to the database, we have to use the command as /c and then database name. Here you can see the example as /c and the database name is college, semicolon. What is data definition language? DDL command. DDL statement or commands are used to define and modify the database structure of your tables or schema. When you execute a DDL statement, it takes effect immediately. Then there are different categories of SQL commands: DDL, then DML, data manipulation language commands. Here, the data manipulation language statements or commands are used for managing data within tables. There are different DML commands, that is data manipulation language commands, like select to extract the data from table, update to update the data in table. When we have to delete the data, then delete command we use. Then when we have to insert the data into table, then we use the insert into command. These are different: select, update, delete, insert into command. These are data manipulation language commands. Third one is data control language commands, is used to control users access in a database. It is related to security issue. It is also deals with rights and permission of the database access, like grant, revoke. These are the commands for DCL, data control language. Grant command is to provide access or privileges on the database object, and revoke command is to remove access, rights or privileges on the database object. And when we have seen the how to create the database, create, then database and database name to create the database in a DBMS, my Postgres SQL. Then we have to connect the to the database, like /c, and then database name, as we have seen the college as a database name. When we have to create the table, we use the command as create table, then table name. Here we can take the example as 11, table name as 11, field name, then data type, and field name data type. Here we can see, we have seen in last lecture how to create the database, then how to connect to the database, then how to create the table. Okay, how to create the database: create table 11. Here we can take the field name as roll number. The data type for roll number will be integer. Then next field name, next column, we can take the student name, and the data type for student name, it will be text, in the text format. Okay, this is for create table command to create table. This we have created only the format of the table. When we have to insert the data in table, we use the command as insert into table name. Table name we have taken as 11. Then 11 field name will be, field name we have chosen the field name as roll number, comma, student name will be the field name. Values, then values will be the data 1 and data 1. Data 1, that is for roll number, it will be 101 or 1. And then for data 1, that is for student name, will be Sachin or any name, student name. This command is to insert the data in table. Next, to view the inserted data, we use the command as select star from. Table name, we have used the table name as 11. You will get the result. And to update the table, update command is used. When we have to update the table, we use the command as update table name as 11. Set column name, we have, when we have to change the roll number, then we will use the column name as roll number. Then roll number equals to value, where reference column name is student name. Reference column name is, we have used the two column, that is one is roll number and second column name is student name. So where student name will be Sachin. How to add a primary key? To add a primary key to already created table, we can use following command, or we can create primary key during table creation. The command will be alter table, table name will be 11, add primary key, column name will be roll number. Okay, then we will get the primary key as a roll number. To add foreign key in a table, to add a foreign key to while creating table, we can use the following command, or we can create foreign key during table creation. Alter table, then table name we have used as 11, add foreign key, current column name will be, yes, the current column name will be 11, uh, roll number references refer table name, and in brackets refer table primary key column name. Okay, this will be the command. We will see how to do the how to create database, how to create table, how to use primary key, how to update, how to insert the data in table. This will be we will see in next lecture. Okay, on the Ubuntu Linux operating system. These are the commands to delete the table. To delete table, we have to use the command as drop, and table name, when we have to drop or delete the table 11, then we use the command as drop table name. Drop table name will be drop 11. Okay, and to delete database, we have to use the same command, that is drop and then database, and database name will be 11.
Store data. Defining isolated tables in the database are not just enough. You also need to define relationships between tables. Each table stores data about a certain entity. For example, employee, department, etc. In real life, relationships exists between entities. For example, there is a one-to-many relationship between employee and department entities. Meaning, one department could hold multiple employees, while one employee could belong to only one department. These real-life relationship must be implemented in the database as well. For merely one good reason, and that is to maintain data integrity. Let's take a look at an example. Here is an employee table. The ID column is a primary key that guarantees uniqueness. Here is a department table. Here, the ID column is a primary key as well, that guarantees uniqueness. Usually, ID columns are created as auto-incremental, meaning numbers are automatically generated in the columns. The employee table is storing information on employees, and department table is storing information on departments. Where are we storing information on? Which employee is working for which department? If there would be only one department in the company, then it would be easy. It will be assumed that all employees belong to that department. However, in reality, the world is not. That simple. Complex relationship exists between entities. One way would be to add department table columns in employee table. Here, the first two employees belong to department 10, and the last two to department 20. But this would create data duplication, which is not efficient. If you ever need to change department name, you will do that in two tables. That is not an option. We will simply create an additional column in employee table to refer to the ID of the department to which the employee belongs. We declare this column, Department ID, as a foreign key to the ID column of Department Table. This will create one-to-many relationship between department and employee tables. One department could have multiple employees, and one employee could belong to only one department. Once a foreign key is created, the database will make sure that only those values get into the Department ID column of Employee Table. That exists in ID column of Department Table. This is to maintain data integrity. Just imagine, if you encounter a Department ID 50 in Employee Table, would that make sense? Department 50 does not exist in Department Table. Similarly, you will not be able to remove Department 20 from Department Table if its references exists in any of the child table, in this case Employee Table. Again, this will create data integrity issues. Keep in mind that system will let you insert duplicates in a foreign key column. This is essential for one-to-many relationship. More than one employees could belong to one department. Also note that it is mandatory to enter values in a primary key column. However, just like unique keys, that is not the case with foreign key columns as well. You can choose to enter null value or no value. But if you enter a value, it must already exists in the referred primary key column. Thank you for watching.
Thank you. We will end this meeting here. We will see the actual commands and how to run or execute that command. We will see in next practical or tomorrow. Okay. Thank you everyone.